Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to Stomp This Way. Today, we are talking about Monster X Strikes Back, Attack the GA. So get back! Get back to the table. Dylan, the worst part's over. You watched it, okay? Now we just gotta talk about it for about half an hour plus. And we'll be done with it. You'll never have to watch this movie again.
I'm never going to watch this movie again.
I don't expect you. I might not even never watch it again. But two times might be enough for me. But anyway, the original Japanese title translates to Guilala's Counterattack, Lake Toya Summit Crisis. So because the G8 was at Lake Toya that year. So there you go. I didn't find much in the way of the production, but it is a parody film, as is pretty well.
Yes. English is hard.
Especially after you're watching this movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty evident after you turn this movie on for a few minutes. And Hurricane Ryu, who portrayed several monsters in the Heisei era of Godzilla films, he returned to suit acting for this film to portray Guilala at times.
Poor guy.
So, there you go. And this movie was released on July 5th of 2008.
That's all we know.
That's all I know. I don't know how much money it made, if any.
Which is really odd, because I think that the G8 summit that year took place in July.
Yeah, that was on purpose, I'm sure. But anyway, we are going to listen to a trailer. The trailer will be in German because that's the only one I could find on YouTube. And then we'll come back and read off the cast and crew and the plot. And Dylan might make it through this podcast. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Anyway, see you in a bit.
Japan tut sein Bestes. Wir schützen unsere Umwelt, glauben Sie mir.
Seht doch mal da!
Was? Ein Monster in Sapporo?
Wir wissen noch nichts Genaues über das Monster.
Eine Exklusivstory?
Unglaublich, ja. Angesichts der Umstände ist das Gipfeltreffen beendet.
Was denn? Sie laufen einfach weg?
Hallo, wir sollten jetzt unsere gemeinsame Stärke bündeln und Guilala den Kampf ansagen. Guilala ist gesichtet. Brauchen eine Leitrakete. Feuer!
Was ist da passiert?
Er lebt noch. Er ist doch am Leben und wütend. Schlimmert denn je.
Oh nein.
Guilala.
Die ganze Welt wird von Guilala zerstört werden?
Guilala kann nicht von Menschen zerstört werden.
Verschwindet.
Take-Majin, der kann Guilala töten.
Take-Majin also.
Take-Majin, du musst ganz schnell herkommen. Hier sind alle in Gefahr.
Ich glaube an Take-Majin.
Und er wird uns retten.
Gott schütze die Könige.
Guilala erhebt sich und er fliegt!
Da ist der Guilala, die Aktion vorbei.
Ein echtes Monster. Fürchterlich Sieg.
Angriff auf Guilala!
Das hatte ich doch vorhin schon gesagt, oder? Uns bleibt in diesem Fall nur noch eine Möglichkeit. Eine nukleare Waffe.
Take-Majin, komm zu uns! Take-Majin, komm zu uns!
Willst du mich veralbern?
All right, we're back. This film is directed by Minoru Kawasaki, written by Minoru Kawasaki and Masakazu Megita, music by Yasuhiko Fukuda, effects by Fuyuki Shinada, and starring Natsuki Kato, Kazuki Kato, Takashi Kitano, Susumu Kurobe, who was Shin Hayata in the original Ultraman series, Masami Horiuchi, Ben Furuya, who was the suit actor who portrayed Ultraman in the original Ultraman series, Ichi Kikuchi, Hurricane Ryu as Guilala, and Yuichi Okada. I also put him as Guilala. One of them is probably Take-Majin. I don't know. But anyway, what is the plot? Is there a plot to this movie? Sort of.
Kind of. During the 2008 G8 summit, Guilala arrives in Japan and begins wreaking havoc. The world leaders gathered at the summit agree to work together to stop the monster, but one by one their ideas fail. When all seems lost, the former Prime Minister of Japan discards his disguise and reveals himself to be Kim Jong-il.
Dun, dun, dun.
And launches a nuclear missile at the creature. Meanwhile, two journalists, Sumire and Sanpai, stumble across a hidden village worshipping a deity they call Take-Majin, who they believe will return and save Japan from Guilala. Just as the missile is about to strike Guilala, Take-Majin returns and catches the projectile. Yeah, he catches it all right.
He does.
He then defeats the space monster in combat, and Take-Majin returns to his temple to rest. The leaders of the free world decide to celebrate with a hot bath. A naked hot bath, as credits roll.
Oh my god. So I warned you this was going to be a parody. Were you prepared?
Sure weren't.
Oh my.
I know that's not proper English. I said it that way for a reason.
Sure weren't. Well, the film starts out with these two journalists, and they work for a
Sports tabloid?
sports tabloid, and
I
so
guess.
for some reason they're covering the G8 summit.
Sure.
Sure, whatever, you know. And they kind of just stumble across these people doing this funky dance with a little like the little like crotch motion.
Suck on my balls. That's literally what it looks like they're doing. Like if you've ever seen anyone do like that, it's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. She sees on their little etched into their little temple thing a drawing of
A monster
of Guilala, and on the other side is some deity that we'll learn later is Take-Majin. But that'll come back later. Meanwhile, it's the G8 summit, and we have a representative from each countries, and each of them is a parody of the leader in power at that time. We have President Berger
of the United States
for President Bush. We have
Angelica
for Meghan Merkel. What? Not Meghan.
Angelica or Angela Merkel.
Angela
from
Merkel,
the Prime Minister of Germany.
We have Putin for Putin.
Actually, he's not supposed to be Vladimir Putin.
Is he not Putin?
No, he's. I don't know why they call him that, because at the time of this film, the representative from Russia was Dmitry Medvedev.
Oh, well, I thought he was Putin.
This guy.
Oh, well, look at us. We were wrong.
Anyway.
Let's see. Who else was there? The Canadian guy.
The Canadian guy, he's supposed to be making fun of Stephen Harper, Prime Minister of Canada.
The French guy.
He is supposed to be parodying the French president at the time, Nicolas Sarkozy.
I think his name was like Sarkozov or something
like that.
He's the one that we said looked a lot like that.
He literally looks so much like the real guy. Like, for all the people that they cast, he looks the closest to the real person.
Yeah. And we also have a British guy who is not even British.
English. And he's supposed to be making fun of the British Prime Minister of the time, Gordon Brown.
Yeah.
Who else do we have? And then it says they were I don't know if they're representative at the actual movie.
Yeah.
But it says members of the European Union, Jose Manuel Barroso, the Commission President, and Nicolas Sarkozy, the Council President. So yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And then the Italian Prime Minister, Silvio Berlusconi.
Yeah, he was very prominent in the movie. Yeah. And they also have Kim Jong-il, but for most of the movie, he's disguised as, I guess, the previous
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. But, yeah, this movie, very early on, hits really hard on the Prime Minister of Japan. I think they were making fun of Abe, and his name in this is Ibe. And
everyone has a name very, very close to their actual name.
Pretty close, yeah. The president, the U.S. guy, keeps calling him Ivy. But he's very, they're making fun of him. He's very meek and mild and weak on his stances, and he's got this like horrible prosthetic nose on. But yeah, they make fun of of course the American guy. He's very like like bossy and hoorah, and the Canadian guy, I guess he's supposed to be French Canadian.
Yeah.
And then you have the actual French guy who just like a stereotypical Frenchman. He sleeps around a lot. He's like hitting on one of the translators who turns out to be one of the, what do they call it? The Pleasure Brigade from North Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Lord Jesus.
At one point, they're eating dinner, and he makes a statement.
Yeah.
He makes a statement.
He does.
He calls her his Arc de Triomphe.
Yeah.
And his Eiffel Tower. And then he proceeds to say he wants to put his tower in her arch.
My God.
What is this movie?
And then he flashes people a lot towards the end of the movie.
He sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
But they all laugh about it.
Yeah, it's funny, I guess. But yeah, so, Guilala shows up. Most of the city destruction scenes are stock footage from the old movie. And,
yeah.
Then we kind of cycle through the movie, and I kind of like this joke. Like, each time one of their country's leaders' ideas failed, like, they lower their flag on the
yeah, so
flags outside.
Like, every leader kind of goes through their thing, or at least we get four major ideas. We get Japan's, Italy's, Russia's, and Germany's, I think.
Yeah.
Are the four main ones that we get before Kim Jong-il reveals
Shows
himself and he's like, we're gonna launch a missile.
Yeah.
But like we kind of the next, I mean, for the majority of the rest of the movie until the end, is mostly just each one of them presenting their idea. We change out the stupid sign on the outside of the room. We try to set up this plan, implement it, and then use it, and it fails.
Yeah. I will say I do appreciate a lot of like the parodying of tropes you would see in monster movies, like the sign outdoor. They change it at first to Guilala countermeasure HQ or something, which they always have like Godzilla countermeasure HQ. When they bring out their little map, in all the old monster movies, they have like a figurine of the monster they're showing around. So in this movie, they got this really cheap looking Guilala figurine that they're moving around the map. There's a random kid that shows up in the meeting room, like in all those gamer movies.
And
somehow
he's licking a lollipop,
and he names the monster, and just like all those old gamer movies where the kids would some reason be in the war room,
and you're like, huh?
We have, like I said, I mean, there's probably a lot more cameos than I recognize in this movie. I know that there are, but I know right off the bat, Susumu Kurobe, who, like I said, played Shin Hayata in the original Ultraman, and then Ben Furuya, who was the suit actor. And then the other military guy, he looks familiar too. I'm not sure. I can't place him exactly right off the top of my head. And then I think the guy that plays Kim Jong-il is like a famous Japanese comedian. Like I said, I'm sure there are more cameos that we don't get.
But anyway, all these different countries presenting their ideas and them trying to implement them and make them work, and them failing are all intercut with scenes of these reporters trying to get information about what's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting closer to the end of the film, they get information about this deity that these people that they've been around worship, Take-Majin.
Yeah, and well, there's this little boy in the village
whose father died in a landslide about 5 months earlier.
Just like in if you watch any Showa era Ultraman stuff, a lot of this is like a copy and paste plot out of one of those. There's this little orphan kid who gets attached to the one of the characters of the show, and they grow up in this like remote village, and they worship this deity that comes to life. And even like towards the end of the movie, when Take-Majin comes to life and like flashes into life, like it's like an Ultraman transformation sound. And Ben Furuya, like he has a little communicator that looks like his ultra capsule that he used to transform into Ultraman. It's things like that that I will appreciate. Now, I will agree with Dylan though that this movie does not have enough funny jokes to sustain 97 minutes.
It's honestly not that funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I'm not a fan of these type of movies, and or not necessarily like parody movies, but like monster movies. Not that I'm not a fan of these monster movies
or parody movies,
or parody movies. But if you're not a fan of monster movies, and you don't appreciate the little subtle things like that, like those are, you're like, oh, okay, that's clever.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're doing, but none of it's really funny.
Yeah, it's
and everyone's just so all the political leaders here. The acting for them. I mean, I get it's a parody, but everyone is just hamming it up so hard.
It is cringy.
It gets annoying. Honestly,
it is so cringy, especially the white people.
It just gets annoying. Honestly,
really annoying.
Yeah, and
I mean, President Burger is like the worst.
Yeah.
The way he speaks makes me want to punch him in the face.
he's bad, and then the British Prime Minister guy, who's not even, like you said, not even English. He's bad.
The Italy guy.
The Italy guy's way over the top. The French
guy
guy's
is
way over the top.
Everyone's just, I mean, I get it's a parody and you're supposed to be, making fun.
Yeah.
But it's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. And it's, it at first I'm like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, like after the first 2 minutes, I'm like, oh.
You're over it. Yeah. And unfortunately, like, there's not enough Guilala stuff to
compensate.
And then, like I said, it's either
had this movie been like 70 minutes,
it
with a
probably
little bit more monster action, it might have worked as a parody film.
Yeah.
But trying to make this almost 100-minute movie,
it
just is not working.
Yeah, I agree. It is probably at least 20 minutes too long, maybe 30 minutes too long.
All these, we it's the same formula for the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
We have a leader introduce their idea, they get it set up and planned out, explain it, set it up and get it implemented, and then try to use it. It fails, we cut back to the reporters, and then we repeat the cycle until the end of the movie.
Yeah, it does get old. I agree with you. It does get old.
And it's kind of boring.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I do appreciate some of the kaiju in jokes. If we were Japanese and we recognized some more of these cameos, we would probably find it a bit more funny. Another cameo I recognize, like the guy, I don't know if you, like when Japan is executing their plan and they like accidentally set off the volcanic eruption, like the guy, like one of the scientists there, he's one of the guys that was prominent in Ultraman Nexus. But yeah, I mean, the jokes could have been better.
Yeah.
Notzilla was much funnier.
Notzilla was a lot. It was only like what, 70 minutes, maybe 80 minutes.
Like 80 minutes, like that.
And it was funnier. Yeah.
As far as parody movies that we've watched.
Yeah.
It landed the jokes a lot better.
It did. Yeah.
At least in the first half.
Yeah.
I told Dylan I hate if he doesn't like this one. I hate to see what he's going to think about Death Kappa.
Yeah.
God help us all.
That's a movie.
That is a film. But y'all just want to move on to creature design?
Yeah.
Sure.
So we got Guilala. Looks exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did build a new suit. I don't think they had that one.
But it's an exact replica of the
of the original suit.
He's a space chicken thing.
With
like a weird head collar.
Yeah. And antennae. And and then we have the new edition, Take-Majin.
And he's like a statue come to life, kind of like similar to Daimajin, but he's got a gold suit.
Yeah.
And like the arms, like that one Indian Hindu god or whatever thing. But they disappear randomly.
Yeah.
And reappear randomly just to fit the situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he's got a face.
Did you appreciate when he caught the missile up his butt?
He caught the missile in his butt. He caught the missile in his butt. And then he's like,
Oh my god.
Oh god. Why?
And
at the end.
Yeah, he looks a little goofy. Yeah, when he beats Guilala and he goes,
he goes, like suck it, bro.
Crotch motion. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then we have
effects.
Yeah,
they're not good.
Intentionally bad. I would say.
Probably intentionally bad, but not good.
I think anytime Guilala spits a fireball, it's stock footage. There's some really bad fake little toy trucks. I think most of the new monster stuff is just like a little power plant that literally like a little building and a power pole that he destroys over and over. And then
there's some like vehicles on the ground, and they don't even look like model vehicles. Like you've seen all these other movies. They look like model vehicles. This looks like someone went down to the local like dollar store and bought some little bitty toy trucks and put them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Score. I will say that what was his name? Fuyuki Shinada Did
he
a
did a really good job trying to, be a Fukuda.
Yeah, riffing a Fukuda. I mean, sometimes it sounds just like they took one of the Fukuda's theme and then like changed the key that it's played in or something.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, I guess. And then the song, the
it's
dance,
not bad.
What is
the
it?
Score, at least.
What's the chant they do? I mean, it's in Japanese, but it's like the earth and the wind and the I don't remember. It's something goofy.
Lord of Antiquity.
Yeah.
Something like "Show us your miracle."
Yeah, and then the song at the end of the credits, it's something.
Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find it on YouTube. So
doesn't exist out there anywhere.
Well, I'll just probably play a clip of the chant. But anyway,
yeah. This is a film.
Yeah, I want to wrap up our review of it.
This might be a short episode.
It's gonna be a short episode. I'm trying to save Dylan from reliving it too much.
Well, Andrew, what did you think?
Well,
yeah,
this movie.
It's
kind. The movie.
Yeah. That's kind.
And it's interesting. It's not the best movie. They need more funny jokes.
Yeah.
The jokes they try do not land most of the time. They have references to things.
Yeah.
That's sometimes cool.
Yeah.
Effects intentionally bad, but they're bad. And score is not bad. The score is alright. It's something.
It's there.
It's there, and acting is. They way overdid it on the acting, trying to make this a parody. I think I'm gonna give this movie a D.
A D. Dylan, what do you think?
Yeah. This movie's real bad. It's boring. It's not paced well.
No.
Per se, I would say it's very formulaic, rightfully so because it's a parody. Mm-hmm. But the stuff that's not monster action that, yes, in these other movies is boring, but at least it's not a bunch of actors hamming it up to the nth degree so much that it's obnoxious. So yeah, this movie's ludicrous. Mm-hmm. Who came up with this and why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The monsters, Guilala looks like Guilala, and the Take-Majin or whatever, he looks like a big guy in a gold suit.
Yeah.
Yes.
The effects are, I assume, intentionally bad, but they're horrible. Mm-hmm. And the score, it's all right actually. It's not bad. It's probably the best thing about this movie. So yeah. I hope I never watch this movie again in my life. I'm going to save you from having to look up that sound because of the score, so I'll give it a D-.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, guys, I knew we were in trouble when, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and Dylan's like, which one was Guilala again?
I'm like, wait, is that the one where they took the earth and moved it over there?
I was like, no. We watched this movie 3 weeks ago. What are you talking
the
about?
elevator music.
But yeah, I agree. This movie, there's not enough funny jokes to sustain a 97-minute runtime.
No.
I mean, it does get boring. I appreciate, like I said, a lot of the genre in jokes that they have. But, I mean, there's a lot of chuckles in this movie. There's not really any laugh-out-loud moments. Some kind of really cringy, so cringy you're moments. But, yeah, I mean, there's not enough monster stuff to really push you through the cringy moments. It does get old after a while. I mean, the plot just kind of recycles over and over again. Yeah, it's, I mean, like I said, I laughed a couple of times, but it's not a great parody in any stretch of the imagination. I agree with you. I think Notzilla was a far superior parody. I'll give it a D+. I'll be nice. I appreciated some of their in-jokes, like I said, because I've watched a crap ton of Ultraman, and I see this stuff over and over. I appreciate some of the jokes they had at its expense. So yeah, but we're gonna put this movie behind us real fast, and we're gonna get back to.
I won't remember this movie.
T-5
tomorrow.
Minutes. We're gonna get back to King Kong next week. But speaking of King Kong, All right, so quick box office update on Godzilla vs. Kong. For its second weekend domestically, it dropped off about 60%, brought in an estimated $13.4 million, which easily was in first place again. Which is actually, I mean, it's
just still like,
yeah,
it's only $3 million behind Wonder Woman's opening weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, still really good, really good.
Still rolling pretty well.
Which brings its total domestic take to an estimated $69.5 million, which
is pretty good.
Beat out Tenet's complete run. I think probably beat out Wonder Woman's complete run. I also read here a few days ago that on its debut on HBO Max also beat out Tenet and
the Snyder Cut
and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it was the most streamed thing in its opening weekend on HBO Max
by a lot.
beat out the streaming numbers for both of those films.
I think by almost triple,
which is pretty impressive.
So I mean, yeah. Suck it, Snyder. Sorry. So really impressive. And then its total worldwide gross is now up to an estimated $357.8 million.
And that brings us to a 3 weeks this movie has technically been out.
Yeah.
After its first weekend in China.
So it's only about $30 million behind the total lifetime
worldwide gross of King of the Monsters. That movie made about $386.6 million, I think is what Wikipedia says. Yeah. And that was in a full 3-month release. And we're only 3 weeks in, and we're $30 million behind it. So I definitely say this movie will probably beat it.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw where, of course, they had that hashtag continue the Monsterverse trending, which, I'll just warn people, don't turn into Snyderverse fans. But, that's still neat, I guess. And, I think it was Legendary CEO that's like, yeah, we got a lot of ideas.
And I think Toho released a statement recently saying that they're interested in continuing their relationship with Legendary.
Yeah.
But they want to simultaneously make their own films.
Yeah, I think Toho's been saying that for a while. So, I mean... Which
is fine.
It's fine, more Godzilla movies, the better.
I mean, in 5 years, we're going to have like 30 more movies to review.
I'm sure Warner Brothers, they pay people to know this, that they know that, this movie it's sort of an anomaly because it came out right as people were getting ready to go back to the movies. It had practically zero competition. People were starved for big blockbuster entertainment. So, I would just say be careful. Tread carefully, but don't get too excited. But no, I think it bodes well for the Monsterverse. I think, it just kind of fell right in the right place, and maybe we'll get some more movies out of it, So
maybe.
That's really all the news I had.
That's about it.
Andrew and I sat down this weekend and watched and reviewed Ultraman Mebius and the Ultra Brothers. I know that we promised that we would watch that Hanuman and the Ultra Brothers movie from the 70s or whatever. Well, we didn't get around to it, but we'll get to it eventually. But that was the next Ultraman movie on our calendar, so we watched it. That review will be coming out probably sometime this week. Other than that, Dylan, I think we have another podcast we review movies on.
We do. If you can't wait till next Tuesday to listen to us talk about Son of Kong, you can listen to our other podcast, Movies Don't Create Psychos, where the most recent episode to have been published should have been Saw 2, and the next episode to be published this upcoming Friday will be Saw 3.
That's
so
right.
keep a lookout for those. Like I said, we're deep in the depths of the Saw franchise. We have reviewed the Wrong Turn franchise, partially reviewed the Conjuring franchise, and we'll continue that at a later date.
Yeah.
So check us out over there. Movies Don't Create Psychos.
That's right. And upcoming on this podcast, of course, we have Son of Kong. We have the
original
Mighty Joe Young movies, both of them coming up pretty soon. And then
I think that's like the next couple. We do like what? Son of Kong, Mighty Joe Young, the next King Kong movie, Mighty Joe Young.
And then I think after that is the Clash of the Titans trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So
the two new films and the original first.
Yeah, the original and then two new. Yeah, so God help us.
Yeah, at least God help us on the original. It's something.
Oh no, I love the original.
The original's something.
The remakes are.
Wrath of the Titans is not good. The first American or newer Clash of the Titans is all right.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
I think the effects in the original Clash of the Titans are pretty cool.
It's a Ray Harryhausen.
It's a Ray Harryhausen movie. It is
probably his most famous movie.
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. But anyway, I think that's all we got for you this week.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you can contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com.
Yeah, if you want to follow us on social media, we're up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Stomp This Way on all those platforms. So make sure you give us a like or a follow, and be sure to tell your friends about us.
That's right. Andrew, why don't you tell them about our website?
Well, the website is www.stompthisway.podbean.com.
That's right. Dylan, do we have anything interesting over there?
Doubt it.
I doubt it too.
No, we got our full schedule of events, subject to change as always, as well as grades for previous films listed on that schedule. You can also find backlogged episodes and whatever news Aaron wants to keep us updated with. There should also be a ranking for the Godzilla films, whether or not it's updated yet with King of the Monsters. Yet, I
updated it.
He updated it.
You can click on it and see where I put Godzilla
I
versus
believe
Kong.
that there is a Gamma ranking on there as well. So check those out.
Yeah, I did that the other day. I went in and lots of hard research and thinking about it. Oh, really? And I slapped it on that ranking, so find out where I put it. But other than that, I think that's truly all we got for you this week. Join us next week for Son of Kong. And as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Dylan, and we'll catch you in the next one.